What's up, y'all? It's your girl Mel V, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Truth Hurts on the Hustle and Shine podcast. Tonight, we got a spicy meatball for you, and my special guest gonna bring the heat. But before we get into that, I got a couple of announcements to give y'all. First of all, if you have not copped your copy of the Diamond Writer's new book, Valid Transparency, I'm going to assume that you were in a coma and you just woke up. So now that you're up, go ahead and hop over to www.diamondwriters.com and get your copy of our third anthology, Valid Transparency. We spilling some tea, y'all, and we giving some gems, so make sure you copy your book. Also, if you don't have your ticket to the Diamond Standard ATL, what's going on? You're slipping. Come out, catch me, all the other diamonds, and actually my guest tonight is the host for the event. So again, go to our website, www.diamondwriters.com/events and get your tickets. You heard I said tickets. That means you got to come and you got to bring a friend. Show up, show out. We got a lot going on. We're going to have gym class, gym coaches, vendors, drinks, food, DJ, music, games, giveaways. It's the Diamond Standard. There's no other way. But on to tonight's show. So, as y'all know here on Truth Hurts, I spare no punches. So, if you haven't already gone and got your Band-Aids, go get them. Get a couple, because we cutting deep today. We sparing nothing on our topic today. So, what's the topic, huh? How many of y'all know this song right here? Let me see if y'all know. How many of y'all know this song? Hey. All right, that's it. That's right. Today's show is called Knuck If You Buck. Keep your hands to yourself. So let me go ahead and bring my special guest, my co-host for today, none other than the Brooklyn Bombshell herself, Miss Kiera Jacobs.
And we knucking and bucking. Okay, no.
Listen, they not ready. They are not. Welcome, darling.
Thank you for inviting me, Mel. This is such an honor to be here. I really appreciate you inviting me into this space that you've created. And it's a very fruitful and beneficial and empowering space. So I just thank you for inviting me and allowing me to be a part of this. And yes, I am hosting the event. I'm so excited because y'all are giving me free reign to cut up on a Sunday. Oh, girl, yes.
Just cut it up. Cut it up. But yeah, listen, when I figured out what my show topic, I was like, oh no, I know exactly who I need to get on with me today. I needed it. So I was like, I call it my girl. I need them. They're gonna get a little bit of what they're gonna get at the event, but we gonna slice them and dice them today. So I hope they got their Band-Aids ready. I hope. If they don't,
I'm synonymous with fighting in almost every circle.
It really wasn't about the fighting, though. It was just because I was like, I needed somebody that was just gonna tell it like it is and put people in their place.
All right, I got it.
Box check it. That's what I needed.
I got you. I'm here to tell truth.
Before we get all into the show, you gotta let people know who you are, what you do, where they can find you. Get them all the goods.
Hello, everyone. As the name states, right here. This name right here. My name is Kiera Jacobs. You can find me on Instagram at Maverick Mama. I am the founder of an organization called Maverick Mama, designed to help empower single moms to live the life that they love. So you can find me on Insta. I also have a virtual assistant business if you need a virtual assistant. But primarily my passion is Maverick. My passion is Maverick Mama. And so I empower single moms through inspiration, information, encouragement, and support. I actually just started my brand new Instagram page. And so right now I'm running a 40 things the last 40 years have taught me. It's 1 minute little nuggets about things that I've learned in my last 40 plus years of living. Yes, your girl is over 40. But the face cards still don't decline. Let's be clear. Okay. So yes,
accepted everywhere.
Listen, it's an unlimited black card. Get into it. Okay.
Listen, Love it.
And so my job is to just empower single moms everywhere to live a life that you love so often. There's this whole like negative, tired, outdated, antiquated type narrative that single moms are bitter and they don't have lives and they live through their children and want. And that's not true. We out here dipping it and doing it just like you. We just doing it in a different tax bracket, sis, bruh. And so I'm here for the sisters who want to get to another tax bracket. I'm here for the mamas who want to live a life that makes them happy, that makes them excited to wake up. They're not living on the fumes of what happened yesterday. They are fully embracing the fragrance of now and tomorrow. And so that's my job, to bring the inspiration and the information and the support and all of the things for the single mamas particularly. Now, if you're a married mama, you can pull up to the table. I mean, you can sit with us or whatever. But I ain't really here for you. Just say
Do y'all see why I love her? Like, are y'all catching this? This is why I love her.
Oh gosh.
So, without further ado,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I just need to run it back one more time. Like, I feel like we're gonna run it back. Like, we here to do what? We here to do?
Yeah. Watch yourself. Watch yourself.
We are here to talk about Knuck If You Buck.
Indeed.
Keep your hands to yourself.
At all times. Indeed.
At all times.
At all times.
At
Mm-hmm.
all the times.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why I wanted to have this topic today was because I just noticed this influx of imagery on social media and videos and people just out of pocket putting their hands on people, from adults to men to women to women to men to women and women to men. It's people just out here throwing bowls for nothing. Like, you took the last red Skittle, here's a black eye. Like, it's like y'all just out here putting hands on people for nothing. And then when people put their hands back on you, now we have problems. Now they abusive. You want to file lawsuits. You want to call police. It's like, but you knocked and they bucked, but clearly you wasn't ready to fight. I don't understand it. So I'm not gonna spend too much time on this little first part, but I'm gonna talk about same sex putting their hands on women that put their hands on other women, men that put their hands on other men, just off GP. Like, clearly I understand if somebody put their hands on you, then you rag them. Period. But you know, there's a certain amount of words. Like, words gotta get to a certain point where it is like now accessible or okay for you to now put your hands on somebody.
Facts.
But I feel like now today, it's like if you sneeze and somebody don't say bless you, you be ready to punch them in the face. What's that about?
Child, people don't believe in therapy. That's what that's about. Listen, I am very adamant about the words that I choose, right? Because I realize that my words can incite violence, right? Like, I have been verbally aggressive for my entire life, from the time of 5 until now. I could say some things that make you want to fight me. So I am careful about choosing my words and being careful with the words that I say. Even as I've become a mom, I have a teenager and I have 2 smaller children, just choosing my words carefully, because my words can shape their world. I think a lot of the times though, I was just talking to my kids. There's an active shooter somewhere out here in Atlanta. God only knows where the man is right now. They can't find him. And my kids were asking me, Mommy, why is he shooting people? And I said, because he probably didn't have anybody to affirm him, and he wasn't allowed to openly share his emotions. And when people don't have safe spaces to emote, that emotion turns into anger. It almost always defaults to anger. Like spoiled milk. Spoiled milk can only go one way. It can't unspoil. It goes from milk to curdle. And so it's the same way with emotions. They go from sad to anger, hurt to anger, depressed to anger. It only goes in one direction. And if you're not willing to talk that through with somebody, or find a therapist, or find somebody who can like work through those things with you, then you are absolutely going to be just an angry individual. Now, for me, when people get out of pocket or they get angry or they start talking reckless, I can diffuse the situation in a second. As a matter of fact, the team of Cherie remembers one instance where we were standing in line at a buffet and these people were dragging their pastor, and I diffused that situation because we was getting aggravated. First of all, why are you talking about people that ain't there to defend themselves? If they're not there to defend themselves, mama, watch your mouth. You wait till they're there. Say it with your full chest in their face, so that at least they can have a response or a rebuttal. Because I feel like that's a punk move to gossip about somebody behind their back. You can't say it to their face. Baby, these old women was dragging. Do you hear me? If the pastor was there, he'd be tied by his ankle to the back of a pickup truck, and they would have dragged him on a slow procession through the dining hall. That's how they was dragging that man. We were like, good God Almighty! If you don't like him, leave his church.
Easy solution.
And so they were, but you could tell they were their words were hostile. So you know they was pop-ups when they was younger. And so listen. I remember the team was getting, like, I was annoyed. The team was hot. So I just was like, they keep talking. I was like, God is a good God. Do you know that these old ladies was like, yes, he is. I said, see why you can't talk how you talking right now? You don't know who's standing in line, lady.
I can't stand you.
That kind of stuff, though, but that kind of behavior unchecked ends up being chicks in the face. When my daughter gets mad, I got a 5-year-old, she got a temper on her. I have to tell her, listen, baby, you got words. And before you start screaming and flinging and throwing, you have words, you have a vocabulary, use your words. And so I think providing young women with the tools, providing young women with resources, giving them safe spaces to emote, because we champion being a bad bee, even in children. We champion being the flyest girl. We champion having the longest hair. We champion having the flyest shape, even on little babies. I saw a girl on social media talking about she had her baby in a thong. I ain't even going to talk about her baby got a booty. But we're not championing whole hearts and renewed spirits and whole and restored soul. We're not championing none of that. And I feel like a healthy soul is the foundation of effective communication. And a lot of these girls don't have healthy minds or souls. And so that's why they out here knucking and bucking. You stepped on my shoe, pop. I'm like, miss. First of all, if you swing at me, I'm going to grab this little baby fist of yours and I'm going to squeeze it like a chew toy. And then I'm going to grab you and then I'm going to grab the other fist and I'm going to shake you while I speak in tongues until you get it together.
And then you want to be like, ma'am, them shoes was $14.99. Please have a seat.
Write you a check for these shoes. You want to check?
Right. Like, first of all, that ain't your shoes. You borrowed them. Like, stop it. But we're not going to talk about that. This is why I told y'all to get y'all Band-Aids. Because y'all think that I be cutting. This one right here?
Y'all souls ain't whole. Like,
but no, they're not. And then the worst part about it is you knuck and they buck, and now you mad because your eye black. Like, listen. you walked in the store and said, hey, excuse me, can I get a supersized butt whooping? And they put it in a bag and handed it to you, and then you was mad. Like, why you gave me this? Because that's what you asked for.
Listen, I believe the evangelist, Andre 3000, said, don't pull them things out unless you plan to bang it. The problem is, y'all underestimate people. Like, y'all just be looking at people and be like, oh, it's the judging a book by its cover for me. It's the not understanding that you don't know this person's back history. It's the not realizing that this person has a story and a history outside of anything you could have met in these last 5 minutes. You could be looking into the eyes of a reformed assassin. They could touch one point on your neck and you could collapse like a bag of bricks on the floor. Like, you don't know who this is. So stop trying to fight everybody. But for me, I feel like that, again, goes back to a wounded soul, not being heard, not being seen, not being validated. And so now every space you go in, you got to be the loudest one. Yeah, you're going, da, 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 da. And I'm like, what is all of that for? Why are you
then they be the first ones that want to call the police.
Why are you call them, baby? I'm finna take off my belt. That's what I'm finna do. You could throw your fist if you want to. I'm gonna pull this belt off and whoop you like you one of these kids. Go ahead.
That's what they need. Because that's exactly what they need.
Because I am not 23. You was not finna hit me, little 23-year-old.
See, that be the problem sometimes with this good black that don't be cracking.
Listen, don't let these dimples fool you, baby. These knees is listen, these dimples say Megan, but these knees say Margaret. I'm not finna fight you. I'm finna grab you and shake you and spank you and call your mama. What's wrong with you?
Be careful, because nowadays the mamas ain't no better.
Listen, me and mama will tussle. Me and mama will turn this bakery out. I'm gonna spank you, but me and mama will turn this bakery out if you're not careful.
All right, I'm gonna hop in these comments really quickly because you got people over here crying, rolling, laughing, and we're gonna shift the tide a lot with this next segment. So I'm gonna just hop in these comments real quick. So our diamond sister Tiffany Matthias, also known as the Phoenix, says, "That's right. Show them that book. Listen."
Oh wait, no. Yeah,
that. Okay. Let me let it wait. Let me let the book wave. It's gonna dance for you. Okay. All right. Our Queen Pen said, "Let's go, MVP." You already know how we do. VP Prez VP. Let's see what else we got here.
Yes, get the book, y'all. Seriously.
Queen Pen also says, "Kiera finna cut."
And I am. Turn me loose, baby, and it's a party. Turn me loose and it's a party. Every time.
All day, every day. Our diamond sister Daisha dropping some diamonds, showing us some love. That's right. For all of y'all that are watching right now, if you have not done so already, be sure to share this live with your friends. Drop it on your Facebook. Share it in your text message, in your group chat. I don't know if you want to put it in your church group, but in your friend group chat, drop the link.
My church friends
all your group chats and tell them, come on over. Your fellow podcaster friends, tell them. So drop it. Make sure they come in because we just getting started. This show. Okay.
My church friends already know how I am, so they understand.
All I got is K. That's all I got today. The team said, "God is a good God."
Listen, it was hilarious.
They was there.
They tightened up so quick, and it was like,
All right, y'all. So we'll hop into this next topic. So this is a little spicy one for me.
Okay. Double
standards have double consequences.
Mm-hmm.
So too often we see or we hear news reports, Instagram posts, we see videos of women just freely, unequivocally putting their hands on men. But the minute something comes out that a man put his hands on a woman, we got to cancel him. We got to write him off, irregardless of the circumstance. He's this, he got to go to jail. He got to go. And this double standard is creating a problem. Now, I want to give a disclaimer. We are not, under any circumstances, anyone on this show, anyone a part of this organization, condone domestic violence.
At all.
I am not talking about that. I am not talking about women who just get beat for no reason, who get abused and dragged. I am not talking about that. Okay? So please understand, we're not condoning it. We are not approving it. We are not standing by domestic violence in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
What I am talking about is this misconceived notion that we have taught our young girls from childhood all the way up that a boy should never hit them. Mm-hmm. You should never let a boy hit you. Never let a man put his hands on you. Mm-hmm. But we are not teaching our young girls to not put their hands on boys and young men. Mm-hmm. We are letting them feel like and know that it's okay for you to do whatever you want to do to a boy, and he is not supposed to respond or react. Mm-hmm. And with this now, we are creating these women who feel like they have obligations, rights, and privileges to conduct themselves in any way, shape, or form do whatever they want to do to the men in their lives, whether it be boys, their sons, boyfriends, husbands. They can do whatever they want to do with zero consequences.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to stop that. I remember growing up, my father, after I got of teenage age and getting ready to date and stuff, and my father said to me, listen, anything happens, you come let me know. He said, any man, any boy put their hands on you, it's going down. He also then continued that statement and said, however, if you yourself feel big, bad, and bold enough to want to put your hands on a boy or man, be prepared to get hit back. Now, if they hit you back, I'm going to go kill them. But I want you to understand that if you feel that you are big, bad, and tough enough to raise your hand and hit another person, man or not, be prepared to get hit back. And so for me, it's always been in my mind that if I ever got in a position where I felt like I was going to raise my hand and hit a man, I was ready to fight. Mm-hmm. Like I did that with knowing that when I do this, I very well might get hit back. Mm-hmm. But that's not the growing consensus. And then you have women that do this and they punching the man in the face, kicking him, slapping him, throwing stuff, all this other stuff. And in his natural human reaction, defends himself. And now he goes to jail. Or he's labeled an abuser. Yeah. Or he's labeled, all of these things. He's getting, fired, going to jail, getting endorsed. All of this stuff is happening. But I'm like, he didn't just wake up and she blacked his eye, bust his lip, scratched his face. Mm-hmm. So he was just supposed to stand there and go, okay. Yeah. Just because she's a female? Yeah. Something's wrong with this. Something's wrong with this double standard. This idea is something's wrong with this. Mm-hmm. And then you have these young girls now who think it's okay, who think that fighting in their relationships is okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know.
Well, here's my 2 cents. First, again, I have to echo the sentiments of Mel and the entire Hustle and Shine conglomerate that says we do not condone domestic violence of any kind. We are not endorsing men who willfully beat on women because of the mismanagement of their emotions, lack of social training, lack of emotional intelligence, and lack of self-control. We're not talking about those things there. What we are discussing is women who equate themselves physically with men and in a means to assert power. Here's the thing. I think there's so much to be said about a woman who can curtail her emotions when a man is talking to her. Well, because I'm putting the cart before the horse. Let's double back. When we're talking about women putting their hands on men, the woman putting her hands on the man is not the first instance of dishonor and disrespect. The dishonor and disrespect came in her words before it came in her hands, right? And so I need the men to be responsible enough to not trust a big butt and a smile. Just because she cute and she stacked up like you like her does not abscond her of being responsible with her words to you. Because before she punched you in your face with her fist, she punched you in your mouth with her words, and you let her. I
wish I could throw a shoe through the screen.
You let that woman disrespect you. You let her say horrible things to you. You let her talk out the side of your neck at you. You let her disrespect you in front of your friends. You let her call you a little B. You let her emasculate you. You let her, and you let it slide because she got 36 inches of Brazilian yaki that slapped the top of her butt every time she walked by you. So you let that slide. But I need you to value yourself more than you value your accoutrements, because at that point you're not treating her as a partner, because partners see fit to meet eye to eye. Partners walk as equals. She's just an accessory. She make you look good. That's why you tolerate what she do. We do that with animals. We don't do that with people. People in relationships communicate. My son, who is 7 years old, is highly emotionally intelligent. One, because I've trained him to be that way. Two, because I want him to know what it's like to be treated respectfully. I never yell at my son. I do not curse at my son. I don't call him names. I don't call him stupid or dummy, or I don't curse and say horrible things to him. Why? Because I don't want that to be the framework or the baseline for what he thinks womanhood is or how women should treat him. I wish I would see a woman talking crazy to my son. Baby, I'll pluck your eyebrows out hair by hair. You're not gonna talk crazy to my baby. I don't care if I'm 85 with arthritis in my right hand, with the two good fingers on that hand. I'm gonna pluck, 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 pluck. You gonna watch your mouth at my son. Moreover, I teach his sisters how to speak to him too, because y'all need to learn how to speak to men. I come from a family where the women don't honor men. They are not honorable to men. But that's not my testimony. And somebody got to break the cycle, and it's finna be me. I don't care what that look like. It's finna be me. And so I teach my son how women should talk to him. And so in instances where I may raise my voice a little, or I'll test him and talk hard at him. So for the most part, I'm like, hey, Bubba, that's my nickname for him. Hey, Bubba, hey, Bubba, do this. Hey, Bubba, no, I don't think that's right, Bubba. Bubba, you're not operating in honesty. Or Bubba, you're not operating in integrity. Or Bubba, you're not operating in respect. There's a couple times I'd be like, hey, yo, yo, what you doing right now? And I start talking. He's like, whoa, mama, you talking to me hard. He'll stop. Mama, you talking to me hard. And I'll be like, am I? He's like, yes, that's not how you talk to me. Now he's 7. So he knows enough to advocate for himself, to be like, Mom, that's not how you're supposed to talk to me. And so when you see a man that is willfully being disrespected by a woman, absolutely. When I use the Brooklyn tone just to see if he gonna say something about it, because I need him to be able to advocate for himself. I ain't gonna always be here. You need to be able to advocate for yourself in my absence. Now, if they hurt you past the advocate for me, you advocating for yourself, then it's a different ball game. I'm on the phone and it's different. It done got different. You just move out the way because it's different now. But when it comes to me, talking about how I talk, like training my son how to be talked to, training my daughters how to talk to a boy and to a man, I never want him to see me talk. And I don't talk to any man, even his father, who works my last black nerve. But I don't even talk to him crazy. Not in front of my kids. My kids will never see me dishonor a man, even one that's been dishonorable to me. Because I'm not about to show my children the unseemly parts of me. Now, I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to be raw. I'm going to be vulnerable with them, but you'll never see me dishonor a man. When I see a man who is willfully dishonored by a woman, it tells me that his relationship with his mama is off kilter. His mama talked to him greasy. His mama talked to him crazy. His aunties talk to him wild. His sisters talk to him weird. And so when I see a man and I see this, and I see this kind of disrespectful tone, well, first, let's stop dating people we haven't seen through a couple seasons. Let's start not dating.
A couple. I do need to see them in all 4 seasons.
I need to see you through a couple seasons, right? Like, we can be friends. We can be cool. I need to see you first before I say, yes, you're going to be my bae and let you into my space. I need to see you through a couple seasons. I need to see primarily how you and your mama interact. Are you and your mama crazy? Do your mama talk wild to you? Are you and your mama like husband-son situation? Are you your mother's husband-son? Like, I need to see all of that before I say, you're going to be my boo.
Facts.
I need to see what the communication looks like. And then I'm asking questions. Who are the last 3 people you told I love you to? When's the last time you spoke to your mother? What was the last 3 conversations you had with your mother? 1, I need to see what your relationship is like with your mother. And 2, I need to see how deep that relationship goes. If you don't have a good relationship with your mother, you can't fake that. You can't. Okay. Should I slow down? You can't fake that. Tima told me to slow down. You can't fake that kind of relationship, though. Like, you can't pretend that you have a relationship with your mother that you don't have. And so when I see men being disrespected, it makes me think, oh, you don't have a good relationship with your mother, or your mother talks to you wild, and then she's made that the pattern of being able to talk to you wild and crazy. And so you think that that's normal. You think that level of, and when you see men whose mothers talk to them wild, know that they are always at the center of a dysfunctional relationship, platonic or romantic. They're always at the center of dysfunctional relationships. Now, to the women, listen, sis, I don't care if you bench 355 pounds on one leg. I don't care if you can throw Yokozuna from one hand to the other like an orange. You're not a man. You are not a man. I need you to raise your
One
right
more
hand.
again.
Put it in between your legs. That there's no penis there. You're not a man. So you cannot fight men. If you are angry enough with a man to fight him, one of two things is the issue. Either you no longer respect that man and should evaluate whether you should still be in that relationship, or you have not communicated your emotions, and this is the boiling over of other residual things that you have yet to address with this man that you are furious with right now. Either way, you need to sit yourself down somewhere and figure out what's going on with you before you put it on any man.
Or three, you got some stuff in the back of you that you ain't worked out yet that you need to figure out. You swinging on him thinking that you swinging at him trying to swing at your daddy who not even hearing him. Like, listen, you might need to dig back in what's happening in you to what makes you feel like you want to buck up and jump up in this, or that you have the right or audacity to do so to him or anybody. So you might need to check whatever self-esteem, questionable issues that you got boiling down in yourself.
Absolutely.
And get that together. Because the sad part is whatever you ain't fixed in you that's scrambled and messed around and shifted, you gonna buck up and hit the wrong man, and he gonna knock all them parts back into place for you.
Some men are some men are very chemically imbalanced, baby. Some men are very easily triggered. Some men are struggling with PTSD because their mamas was horrible to them. Remember that movie Antoine Fisher? Antoine Fisher's entire life was him being triggered by this woman who was supposed to be his caregiver in a way that made him violent to all people. He was violent to everybody because the one woman who was supposed to care for him and love him was violently abusive to him, viciously abusive to him. And then she had a daughter who was sexually abusive to him. You see what happens when men are not emotionally stable? Here's my thing. I've only in my whole entire life been hit by one male. I was 16. He was my boyfriend. He punched me in the shoulder and he called me a name that I will not repeat on this podcast. I cocked back into 1981 and was like, Mink! He flew off the computer chair. And he never put his hands on me again. I don't play about them. When I used to date a boy, his boy half Puerto Rican, half black. His mother's Puerto Rican. She'd be like, no way de mano. That means don't play with the hands. Don't play with the hands. You're not prepared for where this game can go.
You're not. And the problem is it doesn't take an unstable man or man is not healed. What it's going to take is you taking it too far. Because everybody has a breaking point.
Absolutely.
Everybody can get pushed beyond and they can try and diffuse. And I hate the fact that they always say, well, you're the man. You have to diffuse and you have to. And I'm like, but by how much? Like, how many hits do I take? How much violence do I endure? How much do I succumb to before it's okay for me to respond? Like, how much? Because women, on the other hand, if you get up in his face and his breath brush your cheek too hard and you call the police, it's like, you know what I'm saying? He don't, there's no room for error.
I know a couple right now.
There's nothing. But this double standard says you can go from A to Z 62 times. And if he go from big A to little A, he ain't even made it to B. He just went big A, little A. That's it. And I'm like, we got to stop this double standard because we are setting our men up for failure.
Yeah.
We are setting up our men to be broken, defeated, diminished, demoralized, dehumanized. We are setting them up because we are telling them you don't matter enough to be respected.
Yeah.
And when somebody disrespects you because they have a vagina, it's okay.
Yeah. Not only that, it's a perpetuation of a myth that has been long running in our communities and that men are not emotional and women are. It denies men the ability to be human. It denies men the ability to emote. A man can't cry. A man can't feel. A man can't show that he has emotion in any way because he's been painted to be this emotionless machine, this emotionless ogre, this emotionless, like he doesn't feel. He's not allowed to have feelings. Your words are not allowed to, he's not allowed to feel hurt by your words. That's not how I'm raising my son. I remember making a post one time that said, I'm raising a son who someone else's daughter will thank me for, not curse me for. So he will be emotionally intelligent. He will be mentally healthy. I will not talk down to him. I will show him what it looks like to exemplify biblical manhood in as much as I can, and then employ the resources where I can't do that. You know what I mean? But I think a lot of times we just don't allow men to be emotional. We don't allow men to emote. There's, people joke about Erykah Badu. They say she got pixie dust in her joint, or she be turning these men out, or she makes these men change gods. The only thing Erykah Badu does that a lot of other women don't do is listen and be a safe space. She listens to men, and she's a safe space for them to be themselves. She never questions them about being themselves. She never makes them feel funny about being themselves, even if themselves is not typical Black or typical whatever demographic or genre they're supposed to be fitting into. She allows people the freedom of being whatever they present themselves to be, and the freedom to evolve in whatever they feel is necessary on their journey. And then and it's a safe place. I know dudes who are like killers, right? Like drug dealers, killers, thieves. And they have cried on my shoulder, like bona fide tears drenched on my shirt. Not because I made them cry, but because they needed a safe place to emote. They needed a safe place to fall. And I availed myself so that they could cry and emote and not go out into the world and flip a bus. You know what I mean? Like,
that's the problem. Society wants men to be emotionally intelligent and emotionally ready,
but emotionless simultaneously.
But it's like we want you to be we want you to have emotion when we want you to have emotion. But when your emotion doesn't fit or feed our agenda, now it's like put that back in the box. And it doesn't work. And you don't get to pick and choose what emotion he gets to feel. Well, I want you to express your sensitive emotions and your caring and your love emotions, but that's it. You can't. No, they're all emotions. They're all triggered from the same part of your brain. That's where your emotions are centered. You can't dissect, isolate, and control or delete, click one, which emotions you want to use when and where they're convenient to you. It doesn't work. If you want an emotionless man, then he's going to be emotionless. Period. That means you're not going to get the affection. You're not going to get the hugs and the loves and the kisses. You're not going to get you're not going to get nothing. But if you want a man that has emotions, then guess what? He has feelings, and they're going to come out. So when you open your hand and slap that man in the face, or you punch that man in the eye, or you scratch that man or whatever, guess what? His natural human emotions are going to take over, and you're going to get what any human being would get in response, male, female, or otherwise. And we need to stop making that. We need to stop giving that exception or exemption to the fact that my emotions have to be different based on the person that's standing in front of me. No, my feelings and my emotions are what they are because they're mine, and you don't get to depict which ones I emote when I need to.
Am I wrong for saying that's a residual of white supremacy?
Absolutely not.
Okay, because I think it is. Also, I tell my son when they're a girl, if a girl ever hits him, baby, don't put your hands on nobody's daughter. You have two sisters and a mama. You never have to put your hands on nobody's daughter. Call me. I will be there in seconds. Trust me.
Absolutely.
You ain't got to hit no girl.
You know what? But that shouldn't even be the response. That shouldn't even be needed. Yeah. It shouldn't be if, clearly I don't teach my nephews and my little cousins as men to put their hands on women. But I definitely do let them know you are not somebody's punching bag.
At all.
And if you with a female or not, whatever, whether you with a female, you out and a female, and she put her hands on you, don't cock back and punch her because your punch might knock her out. But grab her and shake the hell up out of her. And tell her, keep her hands to herself. Because chances are she's done this before and nobody scared her. Nobody's shocked her to be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that next time.
It started with her words, though. It started with her words. Her hitting me was the first time she done it.
This is not even just females in relationships. And that's the thing. You get females that are out in the club or out in public and get into an argument or a debate with a man that they don't know. And because society has told them he's not supposed to hit you back, you now have given them free range to feel like I could do whatever I want because he can't do nothing back. And that is a sad, sad tale to teach women that it is okay to do whatever you want without consequences. But then to say men are limited in what they can do because they will face consequences.
That's what gets me in trouble, because I be in people business. Because I hear you out in the street cussing and fussing at a child or cussing and fussing at a man, and I'm like, "Hey, yo, who you talking to? Who you talking to? You talking to this baby like that? No, you're not talking to this baby like that. My job is no, I am. I am. This is my business, and this is a child. This is a child. This is a child. You're not gonna talk to a boy child crazy. Now, if I see a man and a woman, usually I jump in the middle and I say, sir, she is clearly not of sound mind and body. I need you to walk away so that you make it out of you can make it out of the situation without a pair of silver bracelets. Just go on and walk away. I need you to walk away. Just act like you don't hear her. If sis reaches over me, I'm stronger than you. Now, as it pertains to I'm 9 times out of 10, sis, I'm stronger than you. I will strong arm the hell out you at this club. Stay on this side of my arm, please and thank you. You heard that? You see how it don't move? Stay on this side of my arm, sis. Please. I love you enough not to flip you over. So just stay here. Let that man walk away, because you don't know what that man is going through or has been through. Like you can't do that to men. You just can't do that to men and expect them to be. And here's the crazy part, and I'm gonna let you speak.
No, go ahead.
I don't want emotional men, but y'all want good lovers. So you want a non-emotional man to be good in bed? Baby, did they not teach you that emotionally in tune men are the best lovers? You just want to be piped down from the back, facing the pillow. That's what you want. You don't want to be made love to. You just want to push your head in the pillow, drill you out real fast, do what you got to do, and pull out. You don't want a love-making session. Emotional men do that. Emotional men know how to make love because they pay attention to body cues, so they know how to please. Y'all out here just wanting to be dug out like construction workers with these men who have no emotions. I don't. Okay.
Listen,
I mean, you like it, I love it, sis. Huh? I don't know.
The sad part is some of these women haven't figured out their emotional intelligence yet. So, but have the audacity to be out here demanding it of men. Man, figure out your emotional intelligence. Because if you had your emotional intelligence together, you wouldn't be slapping, punching, and kicking this man because he wanted to go out. And then what makes it worse, and like to add to these double consequences now, because you told women that they can do this without flaw or consequence behind it, when the man says, I had enough, I'm walking away from this, you running behind this man to continue to put your hands on him. But yet he left, he walked away. You follow him to continue to put your hands on him. So now if he turn around and give you a back smack, he's wrong?
Brothers, listen. If you are ever, listen to me. Whatever brother's watching this, son, brother, uncle, cousin, granddaddy, zaddy, whoever you are, anybody who was born male with a principle, okay? Listen to me. If you are ever in a situation with a woman and she is fighting you and she puts her hands on you, don't leave. Call your female friends. If you don't have any female friends, call your sisters. Call some women. The women have to escort you out of the apartment. And here's why I say that. You remember when that woman found out that her man was actually secretly gay and was sleeping with somebody at his job, and the man tried to get up and walk away, and she killed him on a Facebook Live?
Mm-hmm.
Don't just walk out, because some women are so unstable, that she'll blow the back of your head open because you're walking away, because you're not giving her the emotion that because she's so steeped in dysfunction, and she wants you to feed into that dysfunctional machine, and you won't. And now she ready to off you. I would call my sisters immediately. If I was a man, you wildin'. Boop, 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 boop. Hey, yo. Sisters, whatever my sister's name is, Shantae, Sheree, Chantel, whoever, all my sisters,
all y'all,
pull you and your homegirls pull up. Y'all got 10 minutes. I'm gonna sit here right here in this house. She better not touch me. Every time she touch me, I'm gonna keep pushing her away. I feel like she about to shoot me though. I feel like she gonna do me some harm. Y'all might not see me tomorrow, so come quickly, and I'm gonna keep moving her away.
Yeah.
Stay on the phone. I'm gonna stay on the phone till you get here, because she's trying to harm me. Because it's come to that.
Yeah.
It's come to that.
And then the sad part is I've gotten like, again, with this double standard, double consequence. If a man puts his hands on a woman, the first thing we call the police. He got to go to jail. But then if a woman is putting her hands on a man and he called the police, we call him a punk.
Nah, call the
Or
police.
we say he's soft.
Nah, call the police.
Well, and I'm like, wait, what? Like so because he's a man, she doesn't deserve to suffer consequences? How?
I had a friend.
How?
His wife this is years ago. She told the story actually. She put her hands on him. They arguing, she cussing and screaming and carrying on. She put her hands on him. That man called the cops. And them cops picked her up and carted her tail right off to jail.
A to the men.
And no, I believe that you should suffer consequences, because here's my thing. As a woman, and I just had this conversation with a group of young girls at my church, younger women at my church. There's a way to tell a man you are unhappy or dissatisfied without even raising your voice at that man. There's a way for a man to tell a woman he is angry or frustrated or dissatisfied without even having an issue. Because one of the brothers was like, nah, because these women getting out of pocket and I got to put them in their place. And I said, what does that look like? When you put these women in their place, what does that look like? No, because I said, sir, you could tell a woman that you are not going to condone this kind of behavior without having to put her in her place. You could simply say, we don't have the kind of relationship that we talk to each other that way. And until cooler heads prevail and we maintain the continuity of the relationship we established, we're not having this conversation right now. What's she going to say?
First of all, it's going to take her a good 10 to 15 minutes. You're going to be sick. Listen, because here's the thing. Because if you got a female that's acting like that, when you drop that on her,
sister, she don't have no SAT words.
She is, because listen, if you got a woman that's acting like a woman, I promise you, if you flip it and say something like that, she gonna be so stuck trying to process and figure out what you just said. By the time she figure it out, the police gonna be there.
Mel said y'all hood girl ain't got no SAT words. She said y'all hot Cheeto chicks ain't got no SAT words. She said your vocabulary is lacking.
Listen, because guess what? If you were smart enough and took enough time to educate yourself, to have the knowledge to be able to process a statement like that, you wouldn't be acting like that in the first place. So clearly, there's a disconnect in your intellect.
Yeah.
That you don't know how to articulate your feelings without using your hands.
Therapy.
Because the only people that get a pass to articulate emotions with their hands are the deaf.
That part.
Okay?
No, you my nigga for real.
So unless you got a blue and white handicap sticker hanging from your rear view, okay? Unless you're hanging out with Ray Charles and Helen Keller, you can articulate yourself without the use of your hands.
Absolutely.
Now, us New Yorkers, we talk like this, okay?
Absolutely, all day.
So guess what? Our hands are over here.
Right, they're close to my body. They're within my quarantine space.
We're not in church. I don't have to place hands on you.
Right.
For you to feel what's going through me.
Right. Yeah, but I think a lot of that. So in terms of in terms of, there's so many layers to this, right? So there's the how were you brought up? Who showed you love? Have you seen any healthy depictions of love? Have you seen what healthy love looks like? Because healthy love isn't always agreeing, but healthy love is certainly not always fighting. And then the leveled claps. That's true. New Yorkers clap a lot. Yo, my pastor's from New York, and he be talking like this in his sermon. You're that slurs. Anyway, okay. So, but there's not only the what have you seen, but there's also how how are you progressing towards your healing? And when you get out of a relationship, are you even taking enough time to heal from this relationship before you jump into another one? Are you so afraid of being by yourself that you would jump your unhealthy self into a relationship with a healed person and then damage them too? So there's that part. There's you're so unhealed you can't even stand yourself. So you won't be by yourself long enough in a breakup to heal fully. so that you can be healthy for the next person that you date. Like, what?
Misery loves company. So yeah, I'm
Except they
miserable.
not
I'm
miserable.
broken.
You make them miserable when they
No,
get
I'm
there.
about them. You're
Yeah.
broken, you're hurt, you're whatever. So because you're in this, rather than getting yourself great and then coming to find somebody that's equal, you're gonna sit here and bring somebody down on your level so y'all could be down here broke, unhappy, miserable together, raising broke, unhappy, miserable children who then
Sad.
grow up to be broke, unhappy, miserable adults, and the cycle continues.
Sad. Yikes.
Why? And so
I've been
now
single for
he got
many
a busted
years.
lip, you
That's
got a
the
black
deal.
eye, and y'all over here looking like a domestic violence commercial. If you feel safe, call someone. And the sad part is, because of this, it takes away from the women who are actually being domestically abused. You are taking away this attention because now you done jumped on this man, beat him, punched him, kicked him, and he swung his hand and back smacked you to get him off you. Now you want to claim or call domestic violence, and now and then when it comes out to be in fact that you were the aggressor in the situation, now the next woman that calls the police because she's actually getting her face beat in, they take a little longer to get there. Because she live in your zip code.
Yeah.
We gotta stop playing. We gotta stop playing victim.
Yeah.
That's not a play. That's not a dress up. That's not a Halloween costume. You don't put on victim today because you just went. That's not what that is. That's a real situation, and we gotta stop playing victim. You gotta stop provoke. You have to stop provoking someone into putting him in a position to be the victim.
I think that's even deeper than victim. I think that's entitlement. You feel like you're entitled to that person in a way that gives you access to their body in any way you see fit. As if that person still doesn't have autonomy to tell you how you can address their body. You can't put your hands in a violent way on my body. And I have autonomy over my body, so I can tell you how you should touch my body. But when you feel entitled to this person, when you feel like you own this person, when you feel like this person belongs to you, you put your hands on them. You talk to them. You address them in certain ways, which just proves that we're horrible owners a lot of the times. Because if you would think most people treat something they own with respect and with honor and with
it's giving
care,
real master vibes.
Right, it's giving strong slave master vibes.
Real master vibes. And we got to cut it. We have to start holding, and a lot of people, there's a lot of people that's not going to agree with me, and I'm sorry. I didn't come here to make friends. I came here to help you heal, grow, and be better. So we have to stop only making men face consequences for their actions. Women need to be held accountable for your actions. You got slapped? Not okay. What did you do that caused you to get slapped? Could it be that you punched him 14 times? Could it be that you kicked that man? Could it be that you threw a pot and hit him in the head? I mean, like, could that be why you got slapped?
If you're that angry, why are you there? If you're angry enough to throw a pot, why are you here?
We gotta get like emotions. We gotta get that anger man. We gotta get that in check.
Sis.
But again, and here's the thing. And I don't think it doesn't even have to do with the level of being that mad. I think it's because we have told them you can do this without consequence. Because I honestly believe if we stressed and enforced more that women got arrested for abuse and domestic violence towards men, you'd have a lot women less likely to be so quick to put their hands on a man. And also, if we said it was okay in self-defense for a man to defend himself against a woman, a lot of women will be like, you know what? If I hit him first and he hit me back, he's not going to get in trouble. Let me think about this first.
Yeah.
It's being done because there's no consequence. So like I said, the standard has created these double consequences because now you have women out here reckless, doing whatever they feel like, and then it translates into regular life, because now you feel like I can do whatever I want. I can be, because there's no consequences. And now you're teaching your children this now. So now, because you're putting your hands on a man, you're not teaching your son that it's okay for a woman to put his hands on him, and you're teaching your daughters it's okay for them to put their hands on women. So now you got this double consequence society where men are now dehumanized and degraded, because you're telling me that I am not worthy enough to not be beat on, and I'm not human enough to be able to defend myself.
It's so I just don't understand. I personally, it's lost on me. Not lost on me in that I don't understand that it happens or that it's a real thing. I just don't understand why. And it could just be because I'm older now. Like, I'm older. But even when I was younger, I wasn't fighting dudes I was dating. I may have been fighting my brothers, and even that wasn't like aggressive. It was like, oh, it's
Right.
you know, we hanging out on a Saturday, we finna wrestle. Oh, I'm the skinny one, so you gonna try to throw me. I was the skinny one, so you gonna try to throw me around. So I'm gonna just you look like, don't let these bones fool you. I will mop you. Like, don't stop treating me like I'm small. But in terms of somebody I'm romantically involved with, any man who's ever dated me, their biggest complaint about me is that when I go cold, I go cold.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not arguing. I'm not fighting. If I've attempted to address this specific issue on several occasions, and there is no quantitative change in this particular issue, I'm done. I'm not
DONE.
gonna yell and scream. You will come home one day and my drawer in your dresser is gonna be empty. That's it.
And you
I'm not
will be
arguing.
blocked.
And I'm gone. I done changed my number. And the key players in my life have the new number. I'm not even blocking you because I don't want you to find a way to call me. You don't even got my new number, player. Like, I've changed my number as I was emptying my drawer. Your keys are in the glass on the kitchen table. I told your roommate to lock up. Like, I'm not arguing.
Listen, and yeah.
Or hitting.
I don't know. Girl, it's so many things. It's so many layers to this. We'll be in here for enough, because we ain't got a lot of time, but I gotta talk. Because when that whole Chris Brown Rihanna thing happened, I was probably one of the few people that was like, I was probably one of the few people that was like, now, I don't condone, again, domestic violence. But I was like, all right. These kids is like, they 18, 19 years old. She West Indian. As West Indian, because listen, as a West Indian, I already know. I'm like, his phone rang, some chick called, y'all in the car, he didn't answer. I already know what happened.
I actually heard that it was deeper than that. I heard that it wasn't actually it wasn't a Chris Brown thing. It was a Chris reacting to something that had happened type situation.
But I mean, that whole thing, I'm like, I already know that went into like, who's on your phone, why you not answering, answer your phone, who do they do, and we in the tight confines of this Lamborghini, you all in. I already know Rihanna slapped that man in the face about 6 times. She done punched him. Now, I'm not condoning his response, but what I'm saying is, we went through this whole big ordeal of what happened and how she looked. One, sorry, she light skinned. If he'd have blew on her too hard, she was gonna look beat up. That's just real. Us light skinned chicks, we bruise easy. That's just what it is. But I mean, I'm like, he didn't just get in the car and be like, you know what, bop. Something ensued in there, and it was like nobody was like, well, she put it, because even he was like, well, she hit me, she was punching me. Now, when he responded, did he maybe go overboard?
Yeah.
Absolutely. But again, how many times do you push and push? Like you said, everybody got a breaking point.
Yeah.
You keep pushing, you keep water on fire, it's gonna boil. And if you leave it on the fire, eventually it's going to boil over.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen. So was his reaction maybe over the top?
Yeah.
Absolutely. But does that mean that he was not triggered to that response?
Yeah.
And then, like, to be petty, I'm sorry. If you throw the keys to my $400,000 car in the ditch, in the grass, in the dark, I might want to choke you too. But let me not make jokes about that. But I'm just saying, my point is, these are two young kids. They were kids. They weren't adults.
Yeah.
They were two young kids in a situation.
Yeah.
And it was like he lost so much and berated so much in that. But nobody at one point said, you know what, Rihanna, what he did to you is wrong.
Yeah.
But you putting your hands on that man was wrong too. We never addressed that part of it. We are quick to chastise and scold the male for his response to something. And again, I'm not talking about men who just beat women just because.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a man that has hit a woman in response to being hit. We never chastise. We chastise the man and scold the man for responding, but we never, ever chastise them or talk to or scold the woman for her actions.
Yeah, that goes back to my whole. Like, how emotionally healthy are you? Because see, the thing is, I personally don't think they should have been together, because neither of them were emotionally healthy enough for the relationship that they were embarking on. Because later on, we find that Rihanna she starts running through the industry, and Chris ends up hitting somebody else, right? And so neither of them were emotionally healthy or whole to begin with. And now they're in the industry with more money and more access and more of it, and they are children in the entertainment industry. And so the fact that we've held that initial instance over Chris's head. Now, he has gotten into certain situations where he is indeed at fault. I'm not talking about those issues of this particular situation where he more than likely wasn't the instigator or initiator of this fight, right? I think, again, it just goes back to my initial thought that I just don't think that emotional health is championed enough, especially not in entertainment circles, especially not in the entertainment industry. They benefit on your brokenness. Look how many depressed albums Mary put out. Look how much money they made off of Mary's depression.
And let us be clear. Off of black.
Keep it a stat. Well, no, because Kurt Cobain ended up taking his own life. They made money off depression of that man until he smoked his life away, right?
Clearly.
But it's more black. The proportion is definitely
absolutely
imbalanced. It's much more black trauma that is monetized than there is white trauma that is monetized. But I just think he was already not safe, and he had already seen the example of how to handle conflict because he watched his own mama get the big brakes beat off her. So he has this framework. No one's addressing what he's already seen. And then Rihanna, who grew up in a single parent household with a mother who probably got a mouth like hers, nobody is addressing the mental health, because as you are a commodity. A healed you might not be the same commodity. So we don't benefit from a healed you. We benefit from the broken you. And so we leave you broken.
We thrive on the ratchet, the hood.
Yeah.
We thrive on that. And unfortunately that's what's force fed. And that's why, that's why this is condoned. Because the more you get to see these women act like this and be like this, it's more you get to condone this ratchet and make and proclaim that this behavior is acceptable.
Absolutely. I would, in instances where I've seen men and women about to fight, I've been like, hey, guys, not here. When I first got to Atlanta, for a brief stint, I was in an extended stay hotel. And I remember there was a couple next to me. They were fighting every night. First of all, I don't even understand how they were dating, because they didn't speak the same language. It was a black girl from like Bankhead and a legitimate Mexican man who spoke maybe 3 words of English. So one, how did y'all even get together? There's a huge language barrier. So how do y'all communicate? Outside of the bedroom, how do y'all communicate? And then y'all go from fighting to sleeping together and then back to fighting again. One day when I tell you they was fighting, it was from the window to the wall. I heard glass hitting the wall. It was wild. I put on my slippers because now it's Brooklyn time. I'm like, gang, 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 gang. They open that door. She's sitting on the toilet with no clothes on. I don't even know what was happening. He's sitting there in his drawers. They are naked. The room is a toe down. I said, what is wrong with y'all? She's like, no, we're fine, miss. I said, you're not fine. I done heard 3 vases hit the wall. You screaming and crying. He cussing in Spanish. You don't understand him, and I understand him, and you are his woman. So what is the problem? If y'all can't get along, you need to get out. And I'm going to stand here until one of y'all gets dressed and figure out who's leaving. Because it's my problem now. You next door to me, and it's my problem. One of y'all going to get dressed and get out immediately. Yeah, I'm in your business. You going to move me? You not. Somebody need to get dressed and get out. Because this is mad dysfunctional. My daughter hears y'all fighting and carrying on. I'm next door with my kid. She hears y'all throwing glass and fighting, and she think this is regular relationship. It's not. So now I got to explain to her, yo, that's not normal. What you see is not normal. That is not regular, healthy relationships. I will jump in the middle of any kind of demonstrative fight situation. Unless dude got a gat or sis got a gat, I'm in the middle like, what's wrong with y'all? Are we animals? Are you cats and dogs? Are you goats and sheep? Are you Bloods and Crips? What is wrong with you?
Like, did I jump on Noah's Ark? Like, I don't understand.
What's wrong with you? Are y'all both human? You both speak English, right? Y'all speak the same language? So there's no language barrier. Why y'all can't talk? What's wrong with you? Use your words. Did you graduate from the 6th grade? Then that means you at least have a 6th grader's vocabulary. Use your words. Yo, that's not normal. That's right. It's very Brooklyn. That's not normal.
Yo, these comments, I feel bad because we didn't even get to jump in these comments. They've been going in. I appreciate y'all for showing us so much love. We would definitely make sure we respond and go online and respond to his comments. But I mean, there was a key comment made, and it said, we got to stop condoning our friends' behavior. Like, we need to hold our sisters' friends accountable. Exactly. Like, stop telling your girlfriend it's okay to put her hands on that man. Stop telling her it's okay to or stop being the friend that's like, oh yeah, sis, I'm gonna come over there too. Because then both of y'all gonna have black eyes. And now what?
I'm not finna fight your man with you. Girl, you crazy? I'm not finna fight your man with you.
And then if the dude is really about that life, now he done bought both of y'all now because you just said he going over to your house and gonna beat up your man.
Now my man involved because you hit me in the face. No, sis, we're not doing it. Me and my man gonna come over. My man gonna put your man in his car and drive you away. And I'm gonna sit at this table and be like, what is wrong with you? Are you drunk? Are you high? What is wrong with you, eh? What is this one here? What is this one here? Eh? You're fighting and carrying on like you have no sense. Where is it? Do I need to call your mother? Huh? What's wrong with you?
You gotta
go, this one here.
Seriously.
Training.
We gotta stop. But we had another topic, another subtopic, but clearly we did not make it. I told y'all.
I talk
this was going to be, it ain't even talk like, I told them this was going to be a spicy meatball. I told y'all it was going to be intense. And listen, I hope we didn't cut y'all too deep. If you need some stitches, let me know. I got some connects in the medical field. I call them for you, get them stitch you up.
Charge you to the game, sis.
But we trying to help y'all be better. So this just means we need a part 2.
I mean, listen.
We're going to have to do Knuck If You Buck part 2. I got to find another song. I got to find another song. But we got to have a part 2 because we got to get into these kids who think it's okay to start hitting adults. We're not going to talk about that today. We don't have time. We don't have time. We're going to bring it back on the part 2. But it's a lot. This Knuck If You Buck, keep your hands to yourself.
Period.
This double standard has double consequences. These consequences trickle down. So, before we get up out of here, like we always do, we're gonna do our little, rest in peace to Jerry Springer. We're gonna do our final thoughts. So we're gonna we call it dropping a gem.
Okay.
So what's your gem? What's your final gem you want to drop to the people?
In reference to this particular subject?
In reference to this particular topic, and then if you have one that you just want to drop in general.
You are the sum total of your relationships. And if all of your relationships are built on anger, frustration, manipulation, violence, aggravation, if all of your relationships are built on faulty seeds, then you will indeed build a faulty tree. You can't eat rotten fruit. You will eat of the fruit of every relationship that you build. And so if you feel like you're not benefiting from the relationships, or you're eating rotten fruit from the relationships, then you have to ask yourself, what seeds have been planted, and am I the one who planted these seeds? That's it.
So you just gonna do your final slice and dice? You was like, I got one more
You
slice and
said
dice
you said
left.
drop a gem. That was what I had in my pocket.
Alrighty. Now, y'all heard what Kiera said. Where do I begin? Y'all already know.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Truth hurts.
And do.
My gem for you people is, first of all, stop knucking and bucking if you're not ready to fight. Period. Period. Point blank and period. That's one.
That part.
Two, keep your hands to yourself. The saying says, do unto others as you want others to do unto you.
Keep it in your quarantine space.
So if you don't want nobody to black your eye, how about you don't black nobody's eye?
Like this.
You don't want to go night-night? You still want to party? You don't want to go night-night? Then listen, put your hands in your pocket and enjoy the night. That's discussion.
That part.
Women, hold yourself accountable. You are not exempt from consequences for your actions. You are not physically equivalent to a man.
And why do you want to be?
If he was to return to you what you gave to him, it would come to you tenfold.
That part.
It's not what you want. Stop placing an order for something you don't want. If you placed an order with Uber and they brought you the wrong thing, you would be mad because that's not what you ordered. Mm-hmm. You get what you order.
And do.
So stop ordering things with your hands that your jaw can't hold. Okay?
A word.
That's it. Keep your hands to yourself.
The doors of the church are now open.
The way you want him to respect you.
And
if you want an emotionally intelligent man, you have to accept every emotion that comes with him.
Talk, Mel, talk.
That fit in your tiny purse.
Yeah. Okay.
I said what I said.
That part.
Sorry, not
the doors of the church are now open. Is there one? Is there one?
I can't stand you. As I said earlier, Valid Transparency, third anthology for the Diamond Riders, out now, available at www.diamondriders.com. Also available on Amazon. So make sure you go and grab your copy. And if you do not have your ticket to the Diamond Standard Atlanta, and you love the energy that you got here with me and Kiera, come on out, because guess what? It's going to be me, her, and a whole host of diamonds.
We're way more act up.
Way more. So we're going to be classy act up. But we're going to get you right. We're going to give y'all some knowledge on entrepreneurship, living unapologetically, just getting you right, healed, and full.
Yeah.
So get your tickets now.
Right now.
We got jewel tickets and gem tickets left. You want to get the VIP because you're going to get a swag bag. You're going to get a book. You're going to get VIP seating. You're going to get bottomless signature drinks.
You're going to be staying with me on VIP.
So get your tickets now and come meet us. Because ain't no party like a diamond party.
Because a diamond party don't stop.
But I thank y'all for tuning in. This has been another episode of Truth Hurts. Hope you had your Band-Aids on. Because guess what? The truth don't skip you. The truth don't skip you just because you're sensitive.
Amen.
Okay?
Amen.
We love y'all. Be blessed. And as we always say here, continue to hustle and shine. Y'all be blessed. Have a great night.